Hey, it's Chaz back again with another episode of Law Have Mercy. Today's guest, a good friend of mine, Daniel Barousse. We talk about designing the life of your dreams. He's an artist, he's a carpenter. We talk about how social media blew up his business and how he makes his 12-year-old self proud every day. I learned a lot from it. I was inspired. I know you will be too. Daniel, thanks for coming this morning and fitting me in before you get to what? Where are you going, Florida?
Yeah, I'm going to Florida today. Thank you. I appreciate you having me. I'm stoked to be here.
You're always going somewhere.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I try to always keep something on the books. I once read a quote, and it's like one of my favorite quotes ever, and it was like, the grand essentials of happiness are something to do, something to love, and something to hope for. And I kind of always keep that hope for as like a trip booked. Like I always have something. And even if it's not for like fun, it's work or something is going to bring me out somewhere. So
Yeah.
And that's how I try to think.
So is this trip fun, pleasure, or work?
Straight up just fun. Actually, I have two friends that were like, we were talking and they were just kind of like, I could tell they were like needing something. And I was like, what, y'all want to like, let's go. I was like, come on, I'll like book the Airbnb. I'll just roll. Like, let's roll. So I'm just like taking them to Pensacola. It's not far. We're just going to go skate this new skate park, try to surf some waves and hang out with some of my friends out there. And I'm juiced.
I want to be you when I grow up.
Dude, you know what? I'm stoked on who I am.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old me would be fucking hyped too. He'd be like, what, dude? Like all your shirts are skate shirts, like every t-shirt. He would be so pumped on that.
And you tell me, and you always say like, I've never worked a day in my life, right?
No, I work my ass off. I work every fucking day.
Right? But you do something you love.
Yeah. But like I heard that saying my whole life and I really believed it. And it is true a lot of the times, but I'm going to keep it a buck. There's plenty of days I don't want to go to work. Like I'm like, yo, I'd much rather just go skate all day or just like, yo, let me go stay on this trip, but it's the days that I don't feel like going to work and I still go to work once I get there, it's like I'm in my flow state. I'm in creation mode. I'm playing with the kid inside me. Yeah. It's the coolest shit. Like I really do like love what I do and I'm grateful for it. And I try to say thank you for it all the time because it was like, yeah, it's sick.
Well, you and I know each other, so I know what you do, but why don't you tell people like kind of what's going on in your world with Barousse Works?
Okay. So with Barousse Works, so I'm an artist and I make art and furniture from old skateboards. So I work with skate shops all over the United States. Shout out all the skate shops, all the real ones. And when a kid comes and gets a new board, they get rid of their old board. And instead of that ending up in the trash, they just save them for me and I pay to have them shipped. And then through a process, we strip them down to raw wood and then laminate them together into usable lumber. And then from there, I make art and furniture from wood. And that's what I've been doing for like a little over 5 years now.
Yeah, and here's the process right here for the people on YouTube. This is the lamination process. You've already stripped the boards down. There you go. That's the stripping.
Yep.
And then you press it together, I guess, with wood glue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then why skateboards though? I mean, it makes this beautiful cross section.
Yeah. So I actually don't know why they do this. I should know this, but I don't. But so skateboards are constructed with 7 layers of plies of maple, okay? And generally on every skateboard, there's at least one of those plies that has a colored dye, all right? So it's like these veneers that are stacked. And when you stack veneers and you make the grain go perpendicular to the next one, it makes the wood really, really strong. But it makes it incredibly difficult to work with because if you look at a skateboard, there's nothing on it is straight. Everything is curved. So like you're taking curved pieces of wood and you have to press them. I use like 12 to 20 ton jacks and you're putting them under an immense amount of pressure. And then to close all the gaps. But then when you cut that, you slice open that piece of wood and you get this just explosion of color. And it's so cool. There's so much color going on. It's really bright and vibrant. And that's like when you just look at it, it looks cool. But then when you actually realize what it is and really dive into the piece, like, yo, every one of those colors, like every 7 of those lines is one skateboard. And that skateboard was, this is how I look at it. That skateboard represents somebody who chose to do something positive and constructive. And they chose to go outside. It was some kid who was like dealing with issues at school or his family or just, you know, internal issues like we all do as humans. And he was like, instead of looking at a screen or doing drugs or whatever, I'm going to pick up this skateboard and I'm going to go outside and I'm going to skate. That's what those represent to me. And that's what like all of my pieces feature. They feature literally used skateboards from kids, dude, like just like me. Like, and half of my pieces have skateboards that I've skated in them. Just is like, I don't know, a little extra special, but so it keeps it, it's just a way that the 12-year-old me, 11-year-old me can just be juiced on and like play with skateboards all day. Like I always said I was going to work with a skateboard under my feet, meaning I was going to be a pro skateboarder, or I was going to have a skateboard in my hand, meaning I was going to be in the skate industry as a sales rep, which I was. I got my dream job like right after school and was really lucky and did that for a while until I was like, this isn't really it. But it's funny because now I have a skateboard in my hands like more than I don't. Like every day I have skateboards in my hands. It's the coolest shit ever. The little like kid me is juiced.
Well, the cross section. So not only does it have, each skateboard has a story, right?
Yeah,
each one,
100%.
every piece that you use was used till it was really no more good. And going to be discarded
for sure,
right? And then you take it, and then it just so happens by luck, it's beautiful. Right? It has this cross section. Every single cross section you have is unique. Hey, you don't know what it's going to look like till you cut it.
Well, yeah, most of the time. It's pretty amazing to like, because I don't put, whenever I go to stack the boards, I try to not think about it. I just like let it be random. And it is like that. It's like a Christmas present because it looks all rough. And when you open it, you see all these colors. Shout out Leo. So most of the videos that you guys are seeing here, like this is all Leo. And he's my right-hand dude. And he's been working for me for like, I don't know, almost 4 years.
Doing the work or filming?
Both. He's like the bowl master. He crushes the bowls. He does like everything on the lathe. And then he does a lot of our video work, but he's like a Swiss Army knife, that kid, dude. He can literally just like do anything.
I mean, it's amazing. If you had raw wood and you tried to dye it and paint it and make this happen, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
It would be tough.
Yeah, it would be. It's kind of like, yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, I don't know. Somebody could do it. Humans are amazing.
Well, how did you get into the carpentry?
Okay, so carpentry, I built a van. I was, I don't know if I should tell the whole story or not, but so I was a sales rep in the skateboarding industry. And the company I was working for, I had convinced them to let me work remote and live inside of a van. And I bought a Mercedes Sprinter and I built a tiny home in it and lived in it for a year. And during that process of building it out, that was like my first woodworking project. I fell in love with woodworking. I realized that every single day I would lose track of time. I'd forget to look at my phone. Like the outside world would fade, life problems would dissipate. And the only thing that I would think about was trying to like hone in the vision that I had in my head of whatever I was creating in real life.
Like you said, flow state.
Just straight up creation mode, flow state. I think those two things are the same. I don't think you can be in a full creation mode without entering into a flow state. And anything that like, all right, you probably enter a flow state when you're running, right?
Yeah,
100%.
right.
But you're just creating. You're literally just in creation mode. You are. And everything's new. You're in creation mode. So that's like, I don't think you can enter into a flow state without being in creation mode. And I think when you enter in creation mode, you enter into a flow state. And it's like that just completely slows down time. And I really, I do get that with cycling and skateboarding, of course. But that was new for me, the woodworking thing. And fast forward, I'm living in this van, like traveling around the country, working for this company. And I got laid off. And I had job offers on the table, but I wasn't like, it was all sales, still doing what I was doing. It wasn't anything that I was like pulling me. And I was kind of at this crossroads.
Let me stop you for a second. I got a question. So you're doing something that you always wanted to do because it was in the skateboard industry. You were a salesman or a rep.
For sure.
And then
that was like my dream. I was like 16, 17. I was like, I'm either going to be a pro skateboarder or a sales rep for a skateboarding company.
And what about it didn't make you happy?
I think I think it was just because I wasn't creating.
Interesting.
Like, I remember talking to my friend Joey. Shout out Joey, super legend. I was talking to Joey one day. We finished skating the skate park, and we were sitting on the curb after the skate park. It was like 10:30 at night outside of Austin, Texas. And we were just like chilling on this curb talking. And I was like, you know, man, I was like, I really love my job. Like, I love what I do. And I did when I was like doing this. I worked for Volcom and Stance and a whole host of other skateboard companies that I still work with and talk to on a regular basis. It's so sick. But, so I loved my job, and I got to do really cool stuff. But I was like, man, I still have so many days I don't want to go to work. Like, I don't want to do it. I'd rather do other stuff. And I was like, I think the only way you don't feel that way is if you're the creator. And when I was telling him that, I wasn't thinking of it in terms of like like an artist. I was thinking of it in terms of like a musical artist. I was like, man, I bet if you just can create music and just travel and play music, that just must be so sick. Seemed like that whole realm just seemed like impossible to me.
Yeah.
But it was like, I remember telling him that. And then it's just funny how things worked out. It's just really crazy how they worked out, because now I'm the creator 100% of the time. And I'll keep it a buck. Like, there's some days that I would rather go skate than go to my shop. But man, once I start working, it's right back to creation mode, flow state. And I love it. Like, I love it, man. I love it.
So you're in the van.
So I'm in the van, got laid off, trying to, like, in this crossroads, had time to figure it out. And I woke up one morning at 3 a.m. at this crazy pull that I was like, I want to bike across the country. I had been riding my bike all the time. It was nothing for me to bike 20, 30, 40 miles a day and
You're
skate.
such a crazy SOB.
It was a little crazy, maybe. I don't know. I think it would have been crazier to have that feeling and then not act on it. Yeah. That is crazier to me, but I'm me. So I don't know. But yeah, dude, 5 days later, I biked from Denver to Austin by myself. It's a 1,000-mile journey, and I had never done that, like, on any level. So I went through all sorts of problems, but the whole trip, every moment of that trip, I just designed my life. And I asked myself a question. I was like, okay, dude, what do you want to do with your life? Like, what would you do if you were a billionaire? All right. Like, I worked backwards. I was like, say you got all the success in the world and you were a billionaire and you owned your time and you had all the resources, you could just do whatever you want. What the fuck would you do with your day? And I started literally, like, listing it out, dude. And I was like, okay, like, I would skate, I would bike, I would probably, like, I love woodworking. I'd probably make cool shit for my friends. And I was like, I'd be healthy. I was like, I'd be able to travel when I want. And then I was like, okay, well, how can I make money? I was like, well, at the time, I was like, I don't see being a professional skateboarder as an option. At the time, I was like, I don't see being a professional cyclist as an option. But I was like, man, woodworking. I was like, I fell in love with woodworking in my van. And I was like, that's what I would want to do. I was like, I think I could make money doing that. And I was like, I had done a little bit with skateboards then, but not much. And I reached out to my friend Grayson, and I was like, hey, man, I got this idea. Like, do you want to work together? Like, I can make, like, big stuff. I see you working with skateboards. Like, we can combine knowledge and just, like, juice each other up. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, cool. I was like, well, I'm going to finish this bike ride. I was literally on the bike ride. I texted him. I was like, I'm going to finish this bike ride, and I'm going to fly back to Denver with my bike in a box, and I'm going to hit you up, because he was living in Denver, and my van was in Denver. And he was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. You're crazy for doing that, by the way. I'm watching your stories. It's nuts. And I was like, no, it's what, blah, blah, blah. But that's how it happened. And dude, I got back. I finished the bike ride. I lived. I finished it. I completed it. It was gnarly, way gnarlier than I thought. And if I had the wisdom of how gnarly it was, I probably wouldn't have done it from the jump. Probably, like, first marathon you did, you're like, dude.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
Now, best idea ever, but, like,
yeah.
Until you do it, you're just like, oh gosh, this is so much gnarlier.
It's like Forrest Gump, though. I ran this far. I might as well keep on going.
Keep going. That's how I look at, like, my life goals. I'm like, bro, you're closer to where you're trying to get than where you started from.
Right.
Like, don't just keep fucking going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you seem to burn you burn the bridge, right? And I don't mean
sink all the ships, bro.
Sink the ships. Not burn the bridge, sink the boats.
I don't burn the bridges because but I sink the ships, man.
Yeah.
Like, put your back against the wall and put your nuts on the table. Like, I hate to sound like a douchebag, but that's, like, if I'm talking to my homies, I'm like, dude, you put your back against the wall and you're in a corner and it's sink or swim, guess what, mother? You're probably going to swim. Like, you're probably going to swim, dude. Like, straight up. If it's survival mode,
there is no plan B.
There's no, and it's this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I heard 50 Cent say some shit, and I was like, yo, it's crazy because, like, rappers and it's completely different. It's completely different lanes, but it's the same path, bro. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's like an artist. It's an artist.
It's an artist,
dude. Straight up an artist. So, like, whole different lanes, but you almost have to be on the same mindset. Yeah. So, like, I get a lot when I listen, and I'm from the South. You know, I grew up with rap. So, like, I love rap. So I was listening to him. He said, he was talking about his album, Get Rich or Die Trying. He's like, getting rich or die trying wasn't about getting rich. He was like, it was about doing what I wanted to do. And if I die, then I was doing what I wanted to do. And I'm like, duh. Like, that's it right there. That's the wave that I'm on for life, for sure.
You think LeBron James is an artist?
I can't really answer that question. I don't have the authority to be like, that guy's an artist or he's not an artist, but he does. And if he's like, yeah, I'm in creation mode, then motherfucker, you're an artist.
Yeah. Do you know who Rick Rubin is? He's a famous producer.
For sure.
Well,
I grew up on rap. Yeah. I know way more about rap than sports.
Yeah. He talks about creativity and art.
Yeah.
And how you make it for yourself. And if the audience responds,
it's the truth.
Right?
Because
if you make it for the audience, you're not really creating art.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you get all these bad Avenger movies or whatever, where you have the audience in mind and you're not actually creating art.
Mm-hmm.
And so people really go to him, artists go to him to find their true artistic soul, right? And when I read his book, I was like, man, I am creative. I am an artist.
Yeah.
Even in
you have
this
to be.
Boring.
It's low key, like, almost, if you own a business, you're kind of an artist.
Yeah.
Because it's an art to balance how much work you need to put into your business and how to run your finances and how to work with your family and still how to do the stuff outside. There's an art to it, 100%. So, like, and you're in creation mode. You know what I mean? You're not just like clocking in. So, yeah, there's definitely an art and creation mode to that.
There's art in this, right?
Oh, this is crazy. I did not know this is this much production into this.
I don't care if anybody wants to hear from Daniel or not. You're my friend, and I think you're super interesting, and I'm doing it for me.
Hell
and if anyone responds, so much the better. But I'm creating art.
Yeah, that's how I tell people with content too. I'm like, yo, dude, with content, like, you just make what you want to make. Like, get on whatever platform you're on, get inspired, and make what you want to make. And if it does great, keep creating. And if it does poorly, great, keep creating. It doesn't remove the fact that if you're gonna create, you just go create. That's what humans are. It's human nature to create. Like, every single person on the planet is an artist if they're operating in their human nature and just creative spirit. With our society and the way things are designed, that a lot of that's suppressed, and a lot of people feel like they can't. But humans by nature, dude, are all artists. That's what we create. Like, that's all we do is create. You know what I mean? Whether it's create problems or solutions or betterment or whatever, like, it's all creation. Like, the more I'm talking about this out loud and like saying it like outside of my cranium, I'm hearing it like a different frequency to where I can like change the way I'm like, okay, yeah, actually, like, everybody's low key an artist. Everybody. You just have to operate in creation mode instead of existence and survival mode. And I think a lot of people, just because of our society though, are like operating in survival mode and just existence mode, which is, it's hard to tap into creative spirit when you're focused on just getting to the next moment.
Well, there's so many external factors that just shrink people's spirit. Mm-hmm. And shrink their motivation. There's a lot of forces coming from the outside. Turn the damn TV off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Get outside of yourself and find that little, like you said earlier, that kid that if you at 8 years old could see what you're doing now, 10 years old, 12 years old could see what you're doing, he'd think you're freaking a badass.
Yeah, he'd be pumped. I try to think about, all right, two people that I really care about who think of what they think of me. And it's the 12-year-old version of myself and the 80-year-old version of myself. And I'm like, all right, if both of those two people are psyched on what I'm doing, then I don't really give a shit what anybody on earth has to say about me.
Yeah.
Like, I just care about those two people, because there's the one that's like, yo, you need to listen to that 12-year-old kid. He is the most important person in everyone. And then you also need to make that 80-year-old person proud. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a balance. And I think on any, if you just, that's how I think. That's my thoughts on it.
You went back to Denver. You collaborated with someone who was also making art and skateboards.
Yeah.
How did you end up back in Lafayette, Louisiana?
Dude, so, okay, it was a girl.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, I guess so. But I'll keep it real. Like,
we make them different here.
Dude, they do. They straight up, I've traveled all over the world. There ain't nothing like a Louisiana woman.
It's
like,
that Vermilion River.
Maybe. It might. I don't know what they're putting in the water, but as far as our women, like, yo, keep putting it in. It might be fucking us up and whatever, but, like, we got some good women, y'all, for real. We're blessed. But no, I went back to Denver and I started working with my friend Grayson, and we were killing it, dude. We honestly, like, we made our first table, which was either one of us the first table we'd made from recycled skateboards, and we made it in like 10 days. We sold it in like half an hour.
Was he making tables, or is that something you brought?
No. So, no, he wasn't making tables at the time. I came and I was like, let's do like slab work and do like crazy inlays with skateboards.
Carter, pull up a table for the YouTubers.
No, he hadn't at the time, but fully capable. Like, at the time, he was like way more advanced than I was at woodworking. So, but yeah, we started like, I reached out to him and I was like, dude, I see, like, he was doing like smaller stuff, but just super well done. And I was like, through the process of building out my van, I had learned how to do bigger stuff. Like, you know, I was like, hey man, we can like put this together and like, we could probably make some money and it'll be cool. And he skates, I skate. We had already been friends for 5 or 6 years, like pretty good friends. So we started working together and we produced this table, and yeah, it just gave us like a jump start. Sold in like 30 minutes, and then we were booked for like 7 months, dude. We were just like cranking stuff out. And then I met this girl from here, and I was like, I went to him and I was like, hey man, I've been having this like feeling like I want to go back home. And then I'm
feeling all right.
Well, no, it was before I was like, but then I met this girl and I'm like, yo, this is like the catalyst. And this is where I'm at. I'm like, I either want to sell my van and go in with you on a wood shop out here and just stay out here, or I'm gonna go home, start my own thing and chase this girl and get back home to my family. And he was like, dude, I love working with you. He's like, it's been so fun. But he's like, honestly, as your friend, if I were you, I would go chase that girl. I'd go home, dude.
What a great guy.
So that's what I was like, all right, dude. If you would have told me like, dude, let's stay, I probably would have stayed. I'll be honest. Like, I probably would have been like, all right, I need to like quit playing, you know, whatever. But I came and like, I completely started over. I reached out to my dad. I was like, hey dad, like, I know you have like your shop in the backyard. It's pretty much just a storage shed now. Can I like clear it out, clean it up, buy some tools, make it my own, and work out of it for a while? And he was like, yeah, for sure. Big break moment was whenever I started focusing on content. Yep. It was January of 2022. And I was like, man, I had been doing content for the past, you know, since I started my business, but not like disciplined and consistent. Just like, oh, this looks cool. I'll take a picture and post it. Never talk about it again. Just post it one time. 7 people would like it and whatever, keep going. But I was like, okay, I really need to focus on this. So I was like, Leo had been working with me and I was like, look, dude, I was like, we need to focus on this. And I'm just going to be real. I'm not going to focus on it the way I need to. I was like, I'm going to pay you. You're great at this. I was like, half of your time, I just want you to film me. Just sit there with your phone and film me. And we're going to edit content and we're going to do this. Like, we got to do this. So I'm going to invest into this, and I'm just like, I'm cool with it. Like, I believe that we need to do this. And dude, like 2 months into doing that, it's like he recorded me doing something stupid. It was like the dumbest thing. Like it was like me touching a saw blade, and it was not intentional. I know if you see the video has been viewed like over 100 million times just on my pages. Wow. So it's like way past Super Bowl numbers in like the internet world. But it was not intentional, and I was so bummed, dude. I woke up that day at $110 in my account. And that mistake, if you do that, it's a new saw blade cartridge, or brake cartridge from SawStop is $80, and the blades that I get were $45.
So the blade stopped whenever your finger hit it.
Yeah, they use a really, really cool technology. So 𝗁𝗲𝗃, shout out 𝗁𝗲𝗃. They make these great table saws where they pass an electrical current through the metal blade. And wood and most of the stuff that you cut on a table saw isn't conductive, right? So it's not going to like connect the circuit. But your skin is super conductive. So if your skin hits the blade, it causes the circuit to complete. And then it releases a spring-loaded aluminum brake cartridge that literally jams into the blade and causes the blade to drop below the table. And it's like happens in 0.1 seconds. So like even if you're pushing fast, when it hits your skin, it might just nick you. Like it barely made me bleed. Like I would have lost the majority of 2 of my fingers for sure.
Struck.
Here we go.
Oh yeah. This was not intentional. I wish it was. I wish I was that smart, but y'all, this was just a dumb moment in my life. And shout out 𝗁𝗲𝗃 because I still have my hands. But yeah, I was bummed because I knew right then and there that was $140 or $130, and I had 110. Like
wow. So you lose the saw blade, you're bummed.
Yeah. I was so bummed because I was like, dude, I can't make this mistake. Like I didn't have the money. And I think I had like somebody bought a bottle opener like later that day. It was like $45. It was like, all right, God sent me that. You know what I mean? Somebody bought this $45 so I can go get back to work. And I did. Swear. Like Leo.
And then y'all post the video.
He posted the video. And what's funny is like, I was like, yo, Leo, I know we need to do TikTok, but I am not like into TikTok. Now I love TikTok. It's my favorite app as far as educational purposes. It's the most educational, that and YouTube. But I was like, yo, Leo, like, I don't want to do this. Just do this. Like, start our stuff. Like, you know, talk to me. I'll make sure everything. But just do it, man. I trust you. And I had one of these things in my life where I was like, yo, I had a pull. I was like, I'm going to go on this bike ride. Like, I did this bike ride. I did a sub-freezing bike ride from Lafayette to New Orleans, 176 miles. I did it in 2 days. It never got above 32 degrees. The first day I left and it was 7 degrees outside and it had a wind. It felt like it was like the coldest. It was the coldest day of the year. And it just so happened to fall on the day that I was on this bike ride. But like, I'm on this bike ride and I remember you ever.
And it's making it even colder because it's the wind.
You've done marathons. So you know, like the biggest challenge if you're running in a cold is your sweat, right? You got to figure out how to appropriately layer so where your sweat doesn't build up, because when your sweat builds up, then you're freezing, right?
Correct.
So that's what happened to me. I'm in like థેબિડો, Louisiana, bro. Like I'm like biked to థેબિડો and it's like 5 p.m. It's starting to get kind of dark and it's freezing. My clothes are soaking wet. There's a Holiday Inn Express on the side of the road. I'm like, perfect. And I see a Dollar General or a Family Dollar across the road. I go to the Family Dollar. I grabbed a like $5 hair dryer and then go to the Holiday Inn Express. You know how they have the like on the first floor of every hotel, the ice machine room with the vending machine?
Yeah.
I literally was in that plugged up, pretty much naked, drying my clothes off. And my friend Kale called me. And Kale's like, yo, dude, what you doing? I was like, dude, you're gonna laugh. I'm like, tell him what I'm doing. He's like, what the hell? He's like, dude, you're like popping right now on TikTok. I was like, damn, for real? He's like, wait, you don't even know? I was like, no, I didn't even have the app on my phone. He's like, wait, for real? I was like, yeah. I was like, Leo runs it. He's like, dude, he posted a video and it got 1 million views just today, like in the first day. He's like, that's kind of huge. Kale has like, I don't know, 8 million followers across all platforms. So he's like super on it. So when he says it's like kind of huge, I was like, oh, damn, for real? And that was it. Like, so that moment, and he posted that video, me doing something stupid, but that video went crazy. And then I'm like, when the content went crazy, okay, that video got like 20 million views, like quick. Well, dude, 20 million people saw my shit. There was 19 million people being like, what an idiot. But then there was 1 million people who was like, whoa, this guy makes cool stuff. And then there was 100,000 who was like, oh, wow, I really like this guy's stuff. And then there was 10,000 who's like, let me go check out his website. And then there was 1,000 that was like, dang, let me like come back to this. And then there was 100 who bought something. But it was, you know, I was like, that was the most interactions I'd ever seen in my life. And then I saw the money and I was like, whoa. And then freedom, you know, and I'm like, oh, shit. There's super real value into this. Like, and it just made me go, all right, well, let's put more focus into this.
And like you said, like you've explained to me, when I mean, you've been a mentor to me on the social media side. You're like, but you're feeding your business, but also each video is a digital asset.
Yeah, 100%.
Which you can monetize and
I look at I make an asset every day. There's one, I don't know what time it is, but it's scheduled for 8:45 on all platforms. And like, that's my asset for the day. I get to go skate. You know, like that's 100%, man. I look at like content. I look at social media very little in the form of a social tool, very much in the form of a business tool. I do maintain like some of my social relationships through there, but it's, for me, it's literally like a life log. Like I get to log my own life. I post the stuff for me, you know, like I don't really care how it does. Like I like it, you know, from my business, like it's definitely like, you know, I pay attention to what does well or whatever, but at the end of the day, and you go through troughs. Like if you produce content, you're going to go through periods of like exponential growth and all this engagement. And then you're going to go through long periods of nothing. And guess what? Still keep creating. And if you know what, you got 100,000 people hating on you, doesn't matter.
Feeding the algo, baby.
Doesn't matter. Don't take anything from it. Don't even pay attention to it. Just keep going. If you got 100,000 people praising you, say thank you. And other than that, don't take anything from it and just keep going. At the end of the day, if it's doing good, great, keep creating. If it's doing bad, great, keep creating. And for me, I'm like, there's no matter what happens, this is what I want to do. Like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do. Like, it doesn't matter when I'm a billionaire, this is what I'm going to do, dude. My life is not going to change. I'm super proud of that. Cause I think a lot of people, if you ask them like, yo, what would you do with $1 billion? Their life would completely change. My life wouldn't change a fucking lick. Yeah. Like I would upgrade. I'll be honest. I might get rid of the Scion. But other than that, like, yeah.
Your videos, they have like so many elements of what people enjoy. It's aesthetically pleasing. There's a payoff. You have that good music. It's like what are they called? Soothing.
Lo-fi.
Lo-fi. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
big on lo-fi.
Can you play one of his videos?
Any recommendations?
I don't know. Pick one of the top ones, the ones that are pinned, because those have like the most views. People.
This is your.
And what's the handle?
I'll probably go to TikTok.
What's your handle, Dan?
Barousse Works.
Barousse Works.
Yeah,
and that's on TikTok, Instagram.
It's on every platform.
YouTube.
Anything.
So is TikTok your favorite?
TikTok as a consumer is my favorite.
You've gotten the most leads or
Instagram. Instagram is my #1 business driver.
Wow.
And I definitely have the most engaged users and followers on that platform. And I do use Instagram a lot personally, but
yeah, I like this. What you building right here?
That's Leo's turn to pin. So anything on the lathe, Leo pretty much handles, unless it's like a specific component for a sculpture or like a table leg or something. But he's capable of all that. So go to.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you. Watch the end. Oh, well, look. Click on. Oh, it's okay. Scroll up a bit.
Oh, dude,
Click on that bean table right there. So that's one. Yeah. So that's a collaboration that I'm doing with 𝗁𝗃𝗃. And you can kind of see the whole process here. So I take skateboards, degrip them, and then we use an angle grinder and we strip off all the paint and clear coat, and then we laminate them together, and then we mill them like straight up a log. And then on this one, we're making these like veneer components. I say it's a veneer, but it's like really like a 1/4 inch layer. So it's kind of thick. But it's just, you have to do that with the nature of skateboards. And then we're flattening it with our drum sander. Shout out Laguna Tools. And then here I'm taking raw walnut lumber and I'm making the edge banding that wraps around the table. And I don't think I show you the leg creation process of this, but I do show you the attachments. So it's, yeah, threaded inserts, the legs screw in. I'm really proud of that. The little Allen key cool. Magnets onto the bottom of all my tables, and then finishing it. So this is a collaboration with 𝗁𝗃𝗃. They're a really cool home like apparel. They sell home goods and apparel. But we're doing a collaboration and offering this piece and a select few others of mine on their website. And that'll be releasing like later this month.
So who's your so you have big pieces of furniture, custom furniture. Who are your consumers of those pieces?
Man, they're all over the world. It's crazy. Like very few local.
Yeah. Are they skateboard enthusiasts or people? Because
man,
it's its own piece of art that
I get
you don't
like,
even need to know that it's skateboards. It just looks cool.
Some of them are skateboard enthusiasts, but it's people who just like art, you know? And it's so, I don't know if I have like a specific demographic. I will say I have a lot of older women who buy my products, which is really weird. But like I've noticed, I'm like, wow, man. And they're so sick. They're like really support me. Some of these, like, I don't know. They just like love my videos. And
is it because you're handsome? I don't know. What is going on here?
I don't know. If it is, like, sick.
I bet the recycled sustainability aspect plays a role in it as well.
Yeah, people love that, you know. And there is like that's like a real thing, you know. I take all these boards like would just end up in the trash. People don't realize how many skateboards actually get consumed by just one person throughout the year. It's more than you think, and they all end up in the trash, you know. And there's a bunch of people now doing what I do. So it's like less and less people are seeing the value in it, but that's because of like me and other people like me, you know. 𝗁𝗵𝗴𝗹 was the godfather of it all. Like everybody's doing what we do because of 𝗁𝗵𝗴𝗹. He's just Japanese artist, like sickest in the world. And then there's like another dozen around the world that are kind of doing it around the same level that I'm doing it. And then there's a whole bunch of people who just do this stuff in their garage, and skateboarders who might make a piece. And so people are seeing the value in it. And I see that as a positive thing. It makes it a little harder, like, to maybe have like a steady supply of skateboards, but it's a good thing because I'm like, okay, cool. Like we just convinced the world that trash wasn't trash, so not to throw it away. Like that's a win.
That's awesome. I would hate myself if I didn't pull up this video of you skateboarding. So you're also an avid skateboarder. You skateboard how many times a week?
Every single day that my body will allow it.
Okay, all right.
So that changes, but as long as I'm not hurt, I'm skating every day.
So there was a recent Red Bull event, and you're very tight with Red Bull.
Yeah, they work with me real closely.
It was in a hangar.
So this was Terminal Takeover. I can talk about this for a second. Red Bull does one of the coolest events that I am lucky enough to be a part of, where they take the old New Orleans Metropolitan Airport terminal that's just sitting there vacant, and they convert it into a series of skate parks, and they invite skate shops from all around the country to come skate this thing. And it's the sickest thing ever. It's basically put a skate park in an airport straight out of a Tony Hawk game, and you go in there with your friends, and they give you the aux cord. Go, hey, go film and have fun. I'm like, okay, done. But yeah, that's what we were doing, and it was like the first day of last year. I saw the course, and the section that we had to skate was the parabola with this like 13-foot quarter pipe.
Can you pull that up, Carter?
Like 5 or 6 feet of vert, and that was another slam. These are, I do land tricks sometimes, but these are all just me just eating.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah, that one sucked. But yeah, so
I mean, when you're at the top, what does it look like?
Okay,
is it straight down?
That one was real weird. That one was really weird because it was just like 6 feet of vert, and they actually built the deck that morning so I could try that trick. Like the night before, I was talking to like some of the guys, and they were asking me like, yo, based on what you saw today when we took all the teams to the walkthrough, what's your favorite part of the course? What were you juiced on? And I was like telling them, and then I was like, yeah, and I saw that quarter pipe. I was like, man, I'd really like to be able to ollie in that. And I was like, is there a deck up there? And they were like, no, but maybe we can build one for you. And I was like, yeah, if you guys can build one, like I'll do that. And they were like, okay. They're like, when do you skate it? And I was like, we skate it tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And they're like, okay. So they were literally there for 7:30 to build this little deck. That was Terrence from Nashville. That's my dog. I know all these cats. So everybody in all of these videos, they're all nerdy enough. They're all the same level of nerdiness about skateboarding that I am. It's so sick.
Have you known these guys for years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them. I mean, dude, there's like not that many people who are nerdy enough about skateboarding to base their entire existence around it.
This is so wild. It's in the old Louis Armstrong.
It's crazy. Like, I remember being there. Like, I remember, like, sitting there with my luggage, walking through where we were skating. It's nuts. Blake Moore, that's my homie from Nashville.
The spot that you had the spill on, did anyone land that?
No one tried that.
No.
No one else tried that. That was, that was like, you know, that's just my thing, though. Like, you know, if people skated it and did things that I was like, hell no. My friend Grayson did this disaster on it. I was like, dude, no way.
How badly were you injured on that?
Not,
It looks bad.
My hip was messed up. I had a light concussion, but the other 2 slams that you saw in that little reel were way worse. That one just, like, I mean, you know, it sucked, but I was fine. I think I tore something in my hip. That kind of sucked.
How many bones have you broken?
15 or 16. I think 15.
And this is dating back to when you were
9.
9.
No, my first bone I broke when I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I broke 6 before I ever started skating, or 9, and I was 11 when I started skating. So like, I was just like I just have always been an accident-prone kid.
Well, I know you take care of your body.
I try.
So
I have to, because
yeah.
look, I mean, dude, I beat the shit out of myself.
What's your regimen?
I'm up 7 days a week at 5:30 immediately, like, you know, personal hygiene stuff, and then content creation immediately. After content, I go to the gym. After the gym, I normally have like a meeting. It's like 3 days a week. I got to talk to somebody. And then after that, depends on what there is to do, like for the business that I need to do from my house, around the house, and then I go to my shop. And after the shop, if my body allows me, I'm going to skate.
So what are you doing at the gym to recover? Like, what do you do? Yoga,
Yeah,
cold plunges, sauna?
Yep, all those every day. And I also stretch before bed at night, which I've learned is actually, that's like, when I say stretch, I just do yoga. But that has been like huge, because I've learned that like it moves oxygen through your body right before you sleep, and when you sleep, you actually take in less oxygen. So if you increase oxygen the molecule that your body uses to heal all your tissue, it's literally like the electricity in your body, that and water, oxygen, water, light. So yeah, my regimen at the gym is get to the gym. I go sit in the sauna for a second and just kind of like warm up. Like I'll be in there just for like 2 or 3 minutes and just like warm up. And then I'll do like Stairmaster or treadmill for like 3 minutes, get my heart rate going. And then I go and I foam roll, because now I have all my blood moving through my muscles. I foam roll and make them pliable. And then I do yoga. And then from there, I do like various machines. Like I do like an ab thing, some hip abductor machines. And then I do like, what are they called? The little dumbbells? Yeah, dumbbells. I get the kettlebells and dumbbells confused for whatever reason. But
So you do weights too?
Yeah, I do weights, and then I do like various different weights, and then I go sit in the hot tub, and then I do the cold plunge. I end on the cold plunge.
You finish with cold?
Yeah, I've never been to the gym and not done the cold plunge. I do it every day. Some days I just like, if I'm like feeling extra lazy and I'm like, all right, still got to just go to the gym, I'll just do the cold plunge.
Bro, I could tell you, I do, like I tried to do this thing where every single day around lunch, I would go in the cold plunge.
Dude, that's so good.
It's such a, I mean, it's like a
It
shot.
sucks.
It does suck. It's never easy.
I fucking hate it.
As I've been doing it for a year, and it's still difficult
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah, it sucks.
But something happens when you put your head on that water, man.
Oh, I can
like a
explain the
shot.
science to you. So like, there's actually for healing, there's like a real science. And so oxygen is the molecule that all of your tissues within your body, all of your organs use to heal themselves, right? And what you're doing when you get into this cold water, your body goes into survival mode. It goes, oh, we have to put the blood, we're in a freezing water, we have to put the blood where it's the most important. This is how hypothermia happens. So your body pulls in all your blood from your extremities. What's the most important thing for your survival and the continuation? Your organs. So it pulls in all the blood, all the blood, and it keeps it in these organs, and it doesn't send it out to your extremities, because it's like those are not important for survival. Okay. Well, then when you do that, you're breathing in oxygen, and your heart is only having to pump from here to here, right? It's only having to move, so the blood doesn't have to go as far, so the oxygen doesn't get dispersed as much. So the blood becomes hyper oxygen rich. And then when you get out of the cold plunge, you have this hyper oxygen rich blood that then runs to your extremities and begins the healing process. So that's why when you get out, you feel fucking euphoric because you feel like electric.
Yes.
Because it's literally creating electricity within your body.
Wow.
It's on the cellular level.
That's the best explanation I've ever heard.
It's the science behind it. It's the truth.
Wow. And how long do you get in the cold plunge?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Do you have to go in the whole body?
I go up to my chin. I'd like, up to my neck. But so like, yeah, you do need to submerge like your chest to really get the whole, because I see some people go and they'll just be like up to their legs or their knees. And it's like, you're just removing the blood from that area. So it's helping, but it's like, you're not getting
the full.
Yeah. No, you need to be like in there. And it fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I do the cold showers every morning too. Hate that shit. It's extra worse in the winter because I have a raised house. Like, and it's not fun. It's not easy. And it's like, I've been doing it for 2.5 years, this whole thing, and still sucks. I still don't want to do it. Like, I don't like it at all.
But the way I see it is if you force yourself to do hard things, when life throws hard things at you, you will be conditioned.
My mom used to have this little like quote in her bathroom, like on some like cute mama shit. And it said, it was like a picture of like a frog. All right. And it said, if you eat a bug first thing in the morning, then nothing worse can happen to you for the rest of the day. And that's how I look at the gym. I'm like, this is my bug.
Yeah.
I'm going to go eat this bug.
Yeah. I think that it was a Mark Twain quote that says, eat the frog. So
is that the same concept?
Well, it's the same concept. So when I get to the office, the one phone call that I was dreading, the one meeting I was dreading, the hardest thing there is to do it first thing in the morning. Yeah. Because if you eat the frog first thing in the morning, everything after that is easy.
Yeah, it's the truth,
right?
dude. It's the
and
truth.
you're not putting it off and you're getting it done.
Yeah, it's true.
Any big events coming up? Anything you got going on that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm doing the Barousse Works Invitational, the second one. It's scheduled for October 5th of 2024, and I'm really excited about that. So we just did the first one this past October, and it was great. We had over 2,000 people in attendance. We had over 3 million engaged viewers online, so it was a really successful event.
You shut down a street in downtown Lafayette.
Yeah, we shut down 2 blocks downtown Lafayette. We had 19 skate shops from all around the country bring 100 skateboarders in, and we created and skated the world's largest dining table made from recycled skateboards.
You're from South Louisiana. You already talked about how it was a trip for you to, skate in an airport that you used to go to.
Yeah.
We're used to closing down streets for parades and festivals. What was it like to close down a street for skating?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. The Ruckus in Lafayette they've been doing that a little bit, but
to be a part of that.
Yeah, so it was cool. It was definitely it was way more moving parts than I thought, like going in. Just when you work with the local government and multiple businesses and multiple entities, it's just a slower process. It just takes longer to get things done. So that was like a 10-month. It took me 10 months of working.
But you've learned 100 lessons from that.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was great. I learned so much. And another one of those things that, like, if I had the wisdom to actually know what it took, I might not have done it.
But you're doing it again.
Oh, I'm doing it again. It's going to be cooler. It's going to be way cooler. I'm really excited to have a call with Red Bull right after this, actually, about this event with their 3 heads of sports marketing for our zone. And
but you bring in guys in from all over the country, skaters from all over the country.
Yeah, dude, we bring them in.
A little bit of Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, right? we did. We had a bunch of pros out there. We had some AMs, and we paid for all their travel. We put them up in hotels. Shout out Lafayette Travel in downtown Lafayette for helping me with that. And yeah, we shut down the street, and we had over 100 people skated a dining table that I made from skateboards, which is really crazy to think about because a lot of those guys probably contributed boards to the shops that sent me. There's a good chance that there was boards that were being skated by guys who skated them. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
there's boards that went in the table that we made a table out of skateboards, and then the same guys who skated those skateboards were using current skateboards to skate on this table.
Yeah.
I'm just a nerd about skateboarding, so I'm juiced
and
on
those
this.
skateboards that they were skating on the skateboard that on the table might be in the next
100%.
table.
They definitely will be.
Skateboard inception.
Yeah, it's skateboardception 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure you show those guys a good time.
Oh, dude, I try to show them the best time. Everybody had a blast. Weather was 50% of the success of that event because it was just beautiful. But I'm working on, the second one. We're really excited. So I'll give you guys like a tidbit. Same 200, 300 block. I think we're going to have 24 skate shops from all over the U.S. this year. The list of that will go out in the next coming months. And I'm really excited to say that we're going to have a shipping container with a workshop in it. And the whole length of the shipping container will have a plexiglass wall so you can see what we're doing. So we'll be in there working, in and out, working, skating, and then there will be art pieces on the outside, skatable art pieces. So you'll be able to, it's going to be crazy. You'll be able to see the whole process. You'll be able to see what all goes into it. And you'll be able to watch guys like, skate like a $10,000 art piece and just hopefully not destroy it. But
we talk about intentional congruence. You're working while you're hosting the event, while they're skating around on the pieces. Yeah.
And then that leads into, so I have a really even more exciting thing happening in 2025, but I can't speak on it yet. But I've been working on this for like over a year. I'm so excited.
You're not going to drip it out?
No. Not yet. It's not until, all I can say is we going global, baby.
Daniel, where can people find you?
Anywhere. Barousse works. Just type that into Google or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. Type that in. Check out my stuff. I would love a follow, love a subscribe, all that. But check it out. It's you can see the whole process. You can see some of the pieces that we create, and hopefully with this you can like gain a little insight. But we work with skate shops all over the country. We save old skateboards from landfill, and through our process, we make usable lumber and then create art. And my ultimate goal, so this is what I really want to say, and I'd like to, I don't know if end on this, but like this is important. I'm already doing, even when I was broke, I was doing what I wanted to do. All right. I could have been broke forever and done what I wanted to do. Okay. So I got that dialed. Now, the thing that juices me up more than anything is being able to give people the opportunity to do it for themselves through my art. And I'm able to do that a little bit. But it's like, how can I do that more? How can I give enough people an opportunity to make a positive impact in their own life and enter their own life creation mode through my art? Like through doing what I want to do. That's like the biggest thing that I'm on right now. And that's going to carry me until I die. Like, I'm good. Personally, selfishly, I'm 𝗀്cie. But like, how can I do that for a bunch of other people in my community and make like a real measurable like impact? That's what I'm on, like more than anything. So I'm just trying to figure out like, okay, how can we grow this to where, what would it take to be able to pay Leo $100K? What would it take? What would it take to be able to give him the opportunity to make $100K in commission? You know what I'm saying? Or fuck it, more, like what would it take what can we do that for 30 people? Can I take 30 cool dudes and creative people that would have left Lafayette because there was no opportunity 10 years ago and keep them here by giving them a light at the end of the tunnel? Can I offer them an opportunity to create their own life? Can I help? That excites me more than anything. And every step that I can like get more efficient or the business grows or we get more, that's all I think about. I'm like, okay, dude, like how can we, like I have 4 or 5 people who work for me now. And I'm like, all right, how can I pay all them? Like, how can they all make so much that they can just create? Like, how can I do that? And how can I make it to where it like works within the business? You know what I'm saying?
I'm so stoked for our next coffee date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Right? Because I might have some ideas for you.
Really?
But I enjoy it.
Oh,
I love hearing
I'm sure you have all sorts of wisdom in that realm. How old are you?
39.
Damn. So you're like 5 years older than me, but you're probably like 10 years ahead of me life-wise.
Nah, I tell people all the time I didn't make any money until I was 30. Right?
Well,
so
and
I went to school for 7 years, D.
That's true. But you are, I don't know, maybe not. But I know you got wisdom. How long have you had
I know
employees?
we're not trying to compare ourselves to anybody, bro,
no,
because we all got our
no,
shit
I'm not saying
with
like
us,
that.
my man.
But all I'm saying is you have wisdom that I could get from you at our next coffee date.
Well,
and with employees and stuff, you probably have a lot more than me.
I appreciate that, but when we talk, I feel like I want to run through a wall too, because you fire me up with your passion. You know what?
Go.
Daniel, thank you, bro. Safe
sir.
travels to Florida, my man.
Appreciate you.
All right,
Thank
brother.
you guys.
Hey, it would mean the world to me if you subscribe to the podcast and leave us a 5-star review. It helps keep the show free, and it helps us book better guests to provide more valuable content to you. None of the opinions expressed by my guests are that of my own, and nothing we talked about creates an attorney-client relationship or could be construed as legal advice. Hope you enjoy the show.
This podcast is powered by 𝗪𝗍𝗄𝐴NA Network. Go to 𝗪𝗍𝗄𝐴NAcast.com for more South Louisiana sourced content.